Hey, how's it going? 1,000 subscribers, man, oh man, I appreciate that. And to show my appreciation, I'm going to be giving you 3 videos. 3 videos are going to be separated in their own categories. One is going to be about recording locally. The second one is about how to stream. And the third one is the programs that I use. So, first off, since this is how to locally record, this is only for NVIDIA GPUs. If you don't have an NVIDIA GPU, then this tutorial is not for you at all. So, first off, I want to talk about the specs that I have. This is for you can get a comparison about my computer compared to yours. So, if it's running badly, then just kind of compare it with the specs that I have. If you have something better than this, then you should have no problem. Alright, so first things first, we want to go to obsproject.com and we want to download the Get OBS Studio right over here on this left side corner. Whatever system you have, just pick it and let the program download. We don't want to get OBS Classic because that is the first one that I had, but when I switched over to OBS Studio, I noticed that it was less CPU intensive, meaning that it really didn't affect my CPU at all, and basically like it ran smoothly. I can have as many tabs, I can have as much music, I can play whatever game, and I would have 1080 60 FPS no problem. Alright, so with OBS opened up, you should see scenes here and sources here, and you should also see a black screen here. Mine doesn't have a black screen is because I'm recording with the software right now and I already have everything set up. Okay, so go over here to scenes. Think of it like a folder. The scene is the folder, and within the folder are the sources, right? So what we're going to do first is right click and add, and then type in whatever you want. Mine is titled YouTube, that way it can be more easier for me. And then after that's created, go to sources. Now what we're going to make over here is 3 different things. You're going to make game capture, window capture, and display capture. Display capture is basically monitor capture. It's just worded different. But you're going to make those 3. Just right click, add, click. Right click, add, click. That's all you want to do. After you got these 3 up, basically you should be done on that section. But I'm going to talk about a little bit more about what these do. Game capture is basically pulling out the source of the video game and putting it on OBS. Window is doing the same thing as game capture, but I think of it as a backup just in case game capture doesn't work. For example, game capture doesn't work on some indie games, so you're just going to see a blank screen or black screen all the time here. So window capture would usually fix that and capture that indie game anyway. So think of window capture as a backup, but you're always on priority, are always going to be using game capture. Monitor capture is if these 2 don't work at all. This forces the system to capture the entire screen, so no matter what, you're always going to get something captured. So you have 3 different options to choose from, and if one of them don't work, just choose whatever you want. Now if they all don't work and they're all giving you black screens, all you have to do is just exit out, go to OBS, open it again, and then bam, it should work again. Because it happens to me sometimes, so don't worry if it's just you, it happens to me. Alright, with that cleared up, you want to go to settings on the right side over here where my mouse is at. Click it. And if you want to get this dark theme that I have right now, all you have to do is just go to general, theme, and then switch from default to dark. And then you should get it. Click apply, and then that's it. We're not going to be worrying about the stream tab because that's not what this video is about. Go directly to output. We're not going to be worrying about streaming. We're going to go directly to recording. Now mine just kind of blacked out a bit because I'm recording on this and there's some options that you can't switch while you're recording because that'll mess up the system or the file, whatever. But this is basically what you want to put. Everything that I have here is what you want to put. Recording path, pick where you want the system to put that video at, meaning like where you want to put the folder at. What you want to do here is go to recording format, MP4. You want to click audio track 1 and 2. These tracks are basically if you want to separate audio. So if you want your voice to be separated from the gameplay, you can do that. Because even if you're not using Audacity, you can separate your voice from gameplay by separating them here. Because OBS has its own audio capture software. So that's pretty cool. Now the encoder, switch it to NVINC. This is why I mentioned that this is only for NVIDIA GPU. This is basically switching the load from the CPU to GPU, so that way you won't get as much, lag on your computer as if you were doing it with CPU. Rescale output is 1920 by 1080. Okay, so now we want to go down to rate control and we want to switch it to CQP. And then down here where CQP is at, we want to turn it to 18. CQP is basically a high quality output for video. And the CQP range over here is from 15 to 25. I have mine at 18 because that's the best one that I think is fine. For me anyways. But you can experiment and see how it is. But CQP files are basically huge files and you must have the hard space and a hard drive to be using this. Because if you don't, and you only have a little bit, then you're basically screwed. But if you want something a little bit more smaller in file size, but with almost the same quality, all you want to do is switch to CBR and put this range over here to 50,000. And then you should be fine. Alright, so switch to audio over here and put everything to 224 or 160. Now, I'm not sure if they updated to fix this or not, but there's a certain codec that 224 and 160 is on that will allow the audio to work. If you don't use the certain codec that 224 or 160 is on, you will get no audio at all. I don't know why that's a problem, but if you do not have it on 224 or 160 or whatever codec is on by just hovering your mouse on it and seeing what pops up, then you will get no audio. So make sure it's one of these here. And then make it all of them or the way I have it. Alright, so now we're going to go to the audio tab here. Our sample rate is 44.1 kHz. Our channel stereo. Desktop device is basically whatever your audio is coming out from, because that's what we want to capture. And over here we can disable that because we don't have a second audio device. Well, I don't personally, but if you do, then enable it if you want to have two separate audio outputs. Our microphone audio device is our Yeti stereo microphone, so make sure it's that one or whatever microphone that you're using now. And these two are, again, like if you want different tracks, if you want separate audio. So say, I guess, if there's 3 people with you and they're all using 3 different mics and you want all of them to have 3 separate tracks, then just click their microphone and then there you have it. Alright, on the video tab, bass and output is on 1920 by 1080. Our downscale filter is Landscape sharpening scaling 32 samples, the highest that it can be. And the common FPS values is on 60 FPS. On the advanced tab, the general process priority is on normal. And just everything on here, just copy. Just basically copy it. But basically that should be it. Press OK. And there we go. Alright, so you must be kind of wondering, why specifically desktop audio and mic auxiliary? Why are those two there? If we go down to our audio tab, you should see that it's because we have those enabled. This is our main source of sound, which is the Acer, the high definition audio, and this is our microphone that's also enabled, the Yeti microphone. Now the reason that you don't see anything else there is because we have them disabled. Now if you would enable it and then put another mic that's different from this one and then make a third track, you should have a third option here with specifically that audio that you want. So I hope that kind of made sense. Alright, with the mixer explained, I have my auxiliary microphone here turned off because I'm using Audacity over here to record. But if you don't want to use Audacity, you have that option to record your own audio right here. See? La 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 la, but I have it mute because I don't want that. So you don't need Audacity, you have it right here. You have one that's already built in. Now this way I'm kind of making sure that the audio is working, and right now it is working. So la 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 la, see the audio levels here? That means it's working. Blah blah blah. Now the reason that it might not be picking up your audio levels with the green bar moving up and down is because sometimes you need to go to properties here and activate it and then press OK. So even if it's kind of like activated like this, just do it anyway and then press OK, and then it should be working anyway. So la la la, see? Now do the same thing for the desktop audio and make sure that is working, and make sure that this is the default and not default. Just make sure it's this and then click OK. Now my audio levels are not moving is because I don't have anything playing in the background. But let's see what happens when I do play something in the background. Let's see if it works. Yep, so we can see that it's working just fine. Alright, with everything kind of explained and with everything already set up, I think it's about time we can record now. Okay, so I'm in game right now, but for you it should still be a black screen. Open up your game, and as your game is opening up, go to sources, and under sources go to game capture. Right click game capture, click properties, and on mode capture specific window. That's the one we want to be. Not on capture any full screen, we want to be on capture specific window. And then on window, find the game that you're running and that you want to capture. Mine is Overwatch. And then window match priority should be window title. If it's still black screen, just kind of like scroll through and click each one to see which one works and to see which one activates this window. So with game capture working, bam, look at that. I don't have monitor mode right now. This is game capture. Now, if it's still a black screen for you, go towards your options of your game and make the display mode borderless windowed. If that doesn't work, then click window mode and then target display. Make sure it's the monitor that you're running your game on. I have 2 monitors, so make sure it's monitor 1 and not best match. And resolution should be 1920 by 1080 by 60 frames per second. If game capture isn't working, turn off the eye, which is basically the cross against the eye, and go to window capture. Alright, so I'm having a black screen right now against this game even though it's on windowed mode. Now, if you have it on full screen, window capture won't work on something that's on full screen. Okay, so I have it on borderless window right now, and it's still a black screen. Why? Is because we haven't set up anything to be captured yet. So what we want to do is turn off the eye from game capture and turn on the eye for Windows capture. We're going to right click Windows capture, go to properties, and make sure Windows settings over here is on Overwatch. And then window match priority. Click this. If it's still a black screen here, then just kind of scroll through these to see which one works. That usually works. And then press OK. And there it is. It's working just fine. Bada bing, bada boom. Then you're going to have to do some sacrifices or some necessary changes to OBS in order for you to run that just fine. So you would have to go to Settings, Output, go to CQP, and change the range from 15 to 25. The higher it is, the more higher intensive it's going to be. The lower it is, the less intensive it's going to be. Now for the rate control for CBR, you're just going to have to put it lower until you find the right settings. So CQP and CBR, you're just going to have to find the right setting when it comes to this tab down here. And for video, you might have to downscale the samples just a little bit. Now remember, even though I'm not running this game on the highest quality, I am recording it in 1920 by 1080 with 60 FPS. Now remember, my computer may not be as good as yours, so you could have the highest setting while running these settings no matter what. So in the end, you should be fine. Unless you have a worse spec computer than me, then that means it's time to upgrade somewhere, or to sacrifice some settings in order for you to actually run the game just fine. Now remember, if you're lagging in game, you have to sacrifice some settings in OBS or sacrifice your graphics quality in the game. But the settings that I have should be fine just for you.